Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Saturday, December 14th, 2024. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with WWE Smackdown broadcast live last night on USA Network from the XL Center in Hartford, Connecticut. In the closing segment, Kevin Owens attacked WWE Champion Cody Rhodes during a promo segment, leading to a pull-apart brawl that made its way from backstage into the ring and ended with Owens using the title belt to lay out Rhodes.
Kevin Owens with the championship off the face of Rhodes.
Well, security had Cody's arms restrained behind him, and Owens struck at the exact right moment.
Owens, who's been unhinged, he's been delusional, he's extremely dangerous.
And he may be your next undisputed WWE champion.
It is going to be a perilous 24 hours for Cody Rhodes. Cody is in deep, deep trouble.
In the opening segment, Drew McIntyre attacked Jimmy Uso during an in-ring promo. Also during the show, Roman Reigns issued a challenge to Solo Sikoa for a one-on-one match at the January 6th premiere of Monday Night Raw on Netflix.
On January 6th, on Netflix, Take Back My Bloodline. On January 6th, I take back Maula Fala. On January 6th, I take back my respect. And once I have that respect, the whole world will have no choice but to acknowledge me.
In the semifinals of the Women's United States Championship Tournament, Meechin pinned Tiffany Stratton, and Chelsea Green pinned Bayley, setting up Meechin versus Green for the new championship in the finals tonight at Saturday night's main event. In other results, LA Knight defeated Solo Sikoa by disqualification due to outside interference from Jacob Fatu. Braun Strowman returned from injury to score a quick win over Carmelo Hayes, and Naomi was officially named as the replacement for the injured Jade Cargill as women's tag team champions with Bianca Belair. TNA Wrestling presented Final Resolution, which streamed live on TNA Plus last night from Center Stage in Atlanta. The main event saw Nick Nemeth make the 7th successful defense of the TNA World title, turning back the challenge of AJ Francis. Earlier in the night, Joe Hendry won a 4-way over Josh Alexander, Steve Macklin, and Mike Santana to earn the next shot at Nemeth's world title, which will likely take place at TNA Genesis on January 19th. All other champions also retained their honors last night. Masha Slamovich defeated Tasha Steelz to retain the Knockouts world title. The Hardys held on to the TNA World Tag Team title after beating the System in a tables match, and the show opened with Moose defeating Kushida to retain the X Division Championship. Other results saw Ace Austin beat Trent Seven. The Rascals defeated Sami Callihan, PCO, and Jake Something in a handicap match. Hammerstone had been slated to team with the Rascals but missed the show due to injury. And Jordan Grace defeated Rosemary by disqualification to become the #1 contender for the Knockouts title. Rosemary was disqualified after Tessa Blanchard returned to TNA by attacking Grace.
Gia Miller's trying to find out what's going on backstage. He's been dispatched.
Tessa, please. Why did you just attack Jordan Grace? What was that all about?
Attack? I just reminded her and everybody else whose name this company was built on. Tessa Blanchard is back, and I'm taking what's mine.
Oh my God!
Earlier on Friday, Mexican promotion CMLL confirmed a report from Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that Blanchard had departed their company where she was one half of the women's tag team champions. Blanchard had previously worked for TNA when it was known as Impact Wrestling from 2018 to 2020, holding both the Impact Women's World title and the TNA Knockouts title. She was fired from the company in June of 2020. That January, several women's wrestlers had come forward to accuse Blanchard of bullying, using racial slurs, and once spitting in the face of La Rosa Negra while the two worked in Japan. Also on Friday, Rhino announced he would be leaving TNA following his match against Ryan Nemeth later today at the company's television tapings. In a social media post, Rhino stated, quote, It will most likely be the last time I will ever wrestle in a TNA ring. If you can make it to Center Stage in Atlanta, come be part of this 5-year chapter of my life and our journey. Thank you to all of the amazing wrestling fans for your support. I'm not done wrestling, but TNA and I have parted ways." End quote. This past October, Rhino was inducted into the TNA Wrestling Hall of Fame during the Bound for Glory pay-per-view, which took place in his hometown of Detroit, Michigan. AEW also presented Rampage last night on TNT, featuring matches taped on Thursday at the T-Mobile Arena in Kansas City, Missouri. In the main event, Matt Cardona defeated Brian Keith. The show also saw the in-ring return of Toni Storm, who defeated Harley Cameron. In other results, Deonna Purrazzo beat Shazza McKenzie, and Mark Davis and Powerhouse Hobbs defeated Konosuke Takeshita and Lance Archer. And we close with CMLL presenting their weekly Friday night show from inside their home building of Arena Mexico in Mexico City, which featured several AEW talents. In the main event, Claudio Castagnoli defeated Hechicero. Persephone won a 4-way over Zeusis, Reina Isis, and Sanely to advance to Japan, will she'll be part of the Wrestle Dynasty International Women's Cup 4-way on January 5th in Tokyo. In other results, Volador Jr. defeated Pac, Deonna Purrazzo topped La Catalina, and the team of La Jarachita and Juvia knocked off Red Velvet and Viva Van. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.